let's start with the weekly time frame. On the weekly, we did see, if you guys remember on last outlook, we did see this sort of rejection into a Monday. And we were like, okay, this might close like this. So we kind of need to be cautious about what is going to happen next. But we kind of bounced back up on a Sunday, though. We'll talk about it. So it's still not clear where the direction is. I mean, lows or highs here. So yeah, this week will be the most important in my opinion on this development. This week or next week, we'll decide where we're going. I mean, enough with a job, right? We're chopping between this area for around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks now. So we'll see. Let's go into the daily. On the daily, also something else about here. We do have support here, internal support, right? Because how is the structure? Highs, lows, highs breaking, lows holding, highs, and now we do have internal structure forming, right? An internal low with our external sitting right here at 88k, 90k, this area being our extreme. So on weekly, if we lose the internal structure, we're going for external structure, GM Hawkeye. Now, as long as we keep on holding here, we might be looking for some further upside, but it's all random. So we're just waiting to see how this will develop, if we're gonna be holding here or flipping. Let's go into the daily. On the daily, similarly, we do have some lows, some liquidity actually forming here, more liquidity forming here, because we have internal lows here, internal lows here, internal lows here. So if we reject here, the play is easy. Target these lows, take out these lows, and then potentially form some sort of a bottom into here around 1.4 to 1.3k. Form a bottom, reclaim some levels, and then potentially we're looking for 120k once again. Lose this low, and as we said, we're going for 90k. Now, the bull scenario going forward would be flip of this resistance right here. This is like a supply, because this candle right here is displacement lower, right? So if this candle rejects right here, we're going for the lows, definitely. Once we flip this resistance, it is safer to say that we're going for 120k, these highs actually. So these are the two main scenarios. Basically 112k remains our do or die level, flip and we go 120, reject and we go 14. Let's go into 4-hour chart. Actually, nothing to add. So let's move forward into market profile. Starting off with the weekly, we are trading within a prior 2-week composite, right? If we zoom into here, we're trading within 112.5 to 109.5, right? So this area will remain our range until it breaks. So I'm personally looking for shorts into here for a potential rotation lower. But having in mind whole market sentiment, which is that we rejected of the 5-week composite into the highs here. We bounced off here. We have formed some poor lows right here, actually, and another poor low. I think this rejection could potentially lead to a further downside move towards 104, actually, which is our prior 7-week value area low, right? So 112k, again 112.5 remains our area of interest. This is a 2-week composite. These 2 weeks, if we merge these 2 weeks, we do have a clean composite, right? Where we accepted above, pushed higher, rejected right here, accepted below, and if I expand this, it was pretty clean actually. We took out some highs here, accepted once again below, and rotated lower towards the 2-week buyer low. And we bounced off again the 7-week value high. So we're still rotational within the 2-week value. Let's go into the daily. Into the daily, we actually did have a composite right here. So if I merge these 3 days, we do have a composite. So if I expand this, let me expand real quick. Okay, we did have a composite where we bounced off again. All right, so now we have a composite, another 3-day composite right here, which could act as resistance. So any sort of acceptance back below 111.8 will be a trigger for lower towards this NPOC. We actually filled this NPOC right at 11.6. So having in mind this NPOC that should act as resistance going forward if we're bearish, and of course that we have a composite here that we could potentially be rejecting, and flip of 11.8, and we're going back lower. Now the bullish scenario would be slow grind up. We have some poor highs here, clean targets above, slow grind up right here, and we're going towards 115k. I don't see a reason why if we flip 112k we don't do the absolute pump towards 115, 116k, because it makes sense also into the chart, right? Do we have a reason if we flip here to not go all the way up here? We do have also some internal liquidity resting, so it makes sense, right? And moreover, towards these highs. Equity is low, we make a new all-time high. Yeah, I will talk about it later. Now we're done with CPO. Let's go back to VWAPs. Starting off with the yearly VWAP. This is a quarterly. Let me bring up yearly. So the yearly VWAP. As we said, when we're bouncing off developing value high, it's a bullish scenario, right? But the fact that we couldn't actually push higher is kind of concerning. So again, rejections here would mean acceptance back below developing yearly value, and potentially be rotating lower towards developing yearly VWAP and developing yearly value low, right? Which aligns with our 90k level of interest right here, right? So that quick look into the yearly. Let's go into quarterly. Actually, wait it up. Right. So in one day after tomorrow, we're going into a new quarter and a new month, right? So we will be having new previous quarterly and new previous monthly value. The new previous quarterly value will be right here. With our quarterly value low, previous quarterly value low sitting right here, right? Our previous quarterly VWAP sitting right here, and our previous quarterly value high sitting right here. So if we form a distribution into this POI right here, and with the quarterly open we come back below, this means that we are actually rejecting previous quarter value. All right, so this could potentially lead to a huge leg down. The bullish scenario would be going into the quarterly open to get some sort of slow grind right here with a potential pullback into quarterly VWAP, quarterly value low, sorry, previous quarterly value low, form a bottom right here, and then going higher, right? This is the bull scenario. The bear scenario will be a rejection into here, come back below, reject once again, and then go much lower. So that's pretty much everything about quarterly VWAP. We'll talk about it also after the quarterly close. I will update with the stream, of course. Now let's go into the monthly. Into the monthly, similarly. Did we update this? No, we haven't updated. So what did we do last week? We did have a huge drop lower into Monday open, right? And then we talked about monthly previous month value low holding a support, right? The bear scenario, as we said, would be a rejection once again into the monthly VWAP. And what did we do? We rejected once again into monthly VWAP. Rejection is what led to a lower leg, to a leg lower, right? So once again, in 2 days, we're going to be having a new monthly value. So if I bring this up, we'll have the previous VWAP, previous monthly VWAP, sitting right here at 12.8, 12.8, 12.9, we'll see. Going into the new month, if we reject right here, you know where we're heading next. Previous month value low. Now, if we come back lower than the previous month value low, we could be looking for more shorts lower. The most important thing we should be looking at is this one, a rejection here, or a slow grind up. Slow grind up here aligns with our idea of slow grind up into 112k generally, for a potential move higher, right, towards monthly value high and moreover towards these highs. So going into the open, we will see the reaction into the new month value, the new month VWAP more specifically, and we'll decide if we're going to be getting shorts into here, because you know we have said that we know that on opens and closes sometimes the market tends to fake out the moves. So going into the monthly close and monthly open, this pump seems a bit sus to me. So we'll see how this will develop, right? Organic PA, yeah. Let's go into the weekly lastly. So let's update what happened previous week. We actually rejected of weekly VWAP 2 times. We displaced lower than the previous VWAP, previous weekly value. So all we had to play around was developing value. Now, acceptance above here was a move towards these highs and monthly and weekly value high. Rejection into weekly value high was what led to another leg lower, and the moment that we spent time below developing value area low was the trigger to go even lower, right, and short. Now, regarding this week, we have formed the weekly value right into our levels of interest. Here, the weekly value area high aligns with the 2-week composite value area high. So at 113, 112 point something, this is a huge area to act as resistance. Rejections into value area high would mean rotation lower to value area low. Again, we need to see price holding above previous weekly VWAP for more bullish developments. Else we're rotational between value area high and value area low. So let's bring everything into one chart. We want to have these and our levels. So around 112k, 112 to 113k, we want to see some sort of distribution forming. I haven't brought up the new monthly and the new quarterly value, so these levels will be pretty interesting as well, but we do have the 2-week composite and the previous week value to play around. So rejections into here is a huge trigger for rotation lower. Next POI for me would be previous week value low and 2-week value low around 1.10k, 1.10, 1.9 point something. This area basically is our extreme. I would like to see a sweep of these lows actually. And the place here would be actually like this. Sweep here into reclaim of 2-week value low and previous week value low for another rotation. Sweep into spend time space and rejection again, and we're going much lower. Bullish scenarios, slow grind into 2-week value high and previous week value high, and we're going back to our levels of interest 115, 116k towards 5-week value low. So that's pretty much it about the weekly outlook. Also, something else I want to add is that we have on the weekly open, we did have CME, a flat open, and a CME gap. So this might be another thing that we can look for shorts, another reason we can look for shorts going into these levels. But again, it's all about the reaction. So as long as we are not rejecting into 112, 113k, there's no reason to short. So yeah, this will be really interesting to see how it develops. Don't rush into trades. It's a Monday. Let price action develop and see what happens later in the week around these levels, right? So that's pretty much it, guys. Let me stop the recording.